Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. All right. So, the theme on this one is to have been so wrong for so long. And to be honest with you, it has nothing to do with anything too serious. It has to do with these numbers on these particular therapy sessions. For the last month, I've been numbering these things the wrong way, all the way back to 6:30. Somewhere around 6:30 something, I ended up skipping down to the 300s and counted them all the way up to the 400s up until now. That was over a month ago. I woke up this morning, and it's funny because a whole lot of things happen at once in regards to that. My homegirl Kay, as I always say, shout out to Kay, hit me up and sent me something that Drew Barrymore had posted. And as you guys probably remember, I think it was probably 6:30, 6:40, somewhere around there. I had went back to Hollywood, did a series of videos, and one of them took me back to the laundromat where I met Drew Barrymore. So I actually was talking to you guys about it on the camera, and it took, her sending me that to say, oh yeah, I just did a video on that. Let me go get that video. And then I got the video and realized 2 videos afterwards when I skipped from 600 to 300. So I'm like, oh my God, I got to go back and edit everything. So that's what that was. I was able to send her that video, postmark it to where it is that I'm speaking on that, and then proceed to edit all the videos. Also, that same video was also a video, the video where I started it at the house where all the bad stuff happened. So that same video now gets to be seen by Kay. I don't think she's ever seen that video. I might have told her the story in a way, back in the day when I worked with her. I might have told her about it, but she's gonna get a chance to see that video and see the trauma and see how I reacted to having to go back to that place. So that just happened to be the same video. So there's a lot of stuff that happened, but to have been so wrong for so long, I had dreams last night that were not very good. One of them had to do with my friend Kay. She ended up telling me some things that were funny in the dream, but ultimately revealed to me that, she just wasn't ready for what I was ready for, and that she was doing some things that I wouldn't approve of. And she kind of said it in a funny way. Not to get too far into the dream because that ain't important. But I woke up meditating on the dream, and the Lord told me to throw that out. That was essentially the energy I got from the spirit. It's just like, don't think too much about that. Don't worry about that. Throw that dream out. And that wasn't of God. That wasn't him trying to express anything to me or anything of that nature. If anything, it was just the enemy trying to attack me in ways that we got repellent for. So I ended up going back to sleep after that and had a dream where I was going to 7-Eleven trying to get some money from there. And to make a long story short, it ended up being like a situation where the place ended up getting robbed, but the robber ended up shooting himself. And I was trying to keep him from doing that, and then trying to wrestle with him to get the gun. He ended up shooting somebody else. So that ended up being my fault that he shot someone else. It was a lot of stuff to go on with that dream that was also not very good. So I woke up out of that dream to this to this exact situation. So that's what it is, man. I just want to say, a lot of times, and I'm looking around in the world, a lot of people are caught up in various different things that they're thinking about. I'm looking at what the propaganda machine has done to a lot of the Israeli people, thinking that it's over the last 100 years, it's literally okay to take people's land. You know what I mean? Stuff that we benefit from now, but probably would not agree to now if it were something we had to start the process of doing today here in this country. But they're like wrapped up in that mindset where it's completely fine to do this to these people. And the only retort they provide everybody is, well, what about us? It's okay when you do it it's okay when they kill our children or whatever. It's like, no, stop thinking about yourself. You're terrorizing others while you're thinking of yourselves. You are using the retort of consider the lie that we told about things happening to us. And it is a lie. Nothing happened to you, and if it did happen to you, you did it to yourself, Israel. But, consider the fact that every time I look up, they're saying, oh, well, Hamas did it, passing the blame for the things that they do. And it's just like the propaganda machine did a number on your heads, but the reality is it's not okay to take people's land. It's not okay to hurt you either. It's not okay to do anything to anybody that would be against their will. It's not okay to kill children. It's not okay to justify that by a means of self-preservation. All of these things are warped thoughts of the mind. And if you've been thinking these things your entire life, then you've been wrong for so long. And that's really what it came down to. My videos, I had been counting all the way up to where we are right now, which was 7 whatever the heck this is. It was at 4 something. Just up until yesterday, the last therapy session was 4 something, dating all the way back to a whole month. That's a month full of videos, almost 110 videos or more. Well, I was wrong for so long on the numbers. It's okay to get it right now, though. It's okay to go back and redo all the numbers to make sure it's right. It's okay to look at yourself and say, yeah, the whole world is against us. Maybe we need to rethink what it is that we're ultimately believing here. Is it not okay to put ourselves first and take people's lands and consider them not people just because they don't look like us, or because in our propaganda machine we've deemed everybody who ain't us not people? Or is there something wrong with that when we look around at the whole world protesting against what it is we're doing? Could everybody be wrong except for us? And if so, how does that add up really when we sit down and really consider it? How does that add up? And if everybody thinks we're wrong, should we not at least consider what we're doing? And so that's what came to mind when I was looking at my videos. Be misnumbered for a whole month. It's like, yo, there's a lot of people who really genuinely believe that because they believe Hamas attacked them and killed 40 of their kids, that it's okay to kill 6,000 of someone else's kids. And that, my friend, is warped to the mind. And if you've been believing that it's okay to do that or react to things that way, then you've been wrong for so long. If you think it's okay to colonize and take people's land, because I was listening to some of the people they were interviewing, they were saying, yes, and when Israel takes over the land, we'll just come in. And like, that's a warped thought. That's not a thought that should have ever been in your head. An evil entity put that in your mind generations ago, that it was okay to do this to others. And however that was put in your mind, you believed it, but it didn't mean that it was right. You've been wrong for so long. That's all that is. You got to go ahead and make that right. Whatever it is that's in you, whatever it is that's in your doctrine that tells you it's okay to take people who are flesh and blood just like you and rob from them and take from them and kill their kids and do all of this to just take your land so that you can now have the land that you thought you were supposed to have years ago. If that is in your mind, you've been wrong for so long. You know, I think about the fact that my people, my particular family, when we trace back our lineage, we trace our lineage back to New Guinea, Africa, New Guinea. Because I'm supposed to be from there, I'm supposed to be able to now go to their land with my army, wipe them out, and then proceed to take over their homes. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the logic that these folks is using right now. I don't think like that. I don't think I have any ties to New Guinea but my bloodline, who hasn't been there in years. And since then, my blood has been diluted from other people too. Native American, white people. I got all kinds of stuff in me since I date back to New Guinea. Am I supposed to be able to take my tainted blood back to New Guinea and say, yo, this is my land, and anybody who's anywhere needs to get up out of here so that I can be comfortable because that's just what's right is? I'm right and you're wrong because I'm me? No, that doesn't make sense to anybody in the world but the people who believe it. And the problem with people who believe it is even when they sit down and think about it, it doesn't actually make any sense. You just kind of go along with it because you were told it's right and you believe and trust who you were told this too. But if you can think past what it is that you're seeing, you will realize that if someone were to do it to you, for which you always retort is wrong when something's done to you, then you would understand that you would not appreciate it at all. And not only that, but you would want to fight back, and you want the world to fight back for you. You don't have any support for what it is you're doing because you're doing wrong. And the people who told you that it was okay to do this are liars and villains and individuals that otherwise needed to be stopped. You were victims. That's what you were. Victims of something that was going to be applied to your mind, that you were going to believe that would reflect poorly upon you and make you the enemy of the world. And that is what energy is coming with, that colonization mentality. Thinking that it's okay to retort, well, they killed 5 of mine, so I can kill 5,000 of theirs. When in actuality, the people who told you that they killed 5 of yours were people that were lying to you about something else too, so you shouldn't trust that either. And neither do we. Hamas, we don't trust that. We don't trust that. The 40 headless babies, there's no trust for that. We don't have any reason to believe them because they lied to you about what it is you should be thinking, and they lied to these people about what it is they were going to be doing to them, and then proceeded to do evil to them right in front of all of us. And it's just, at this point, it's like, if you don't see where you're wrong, if you're still sitting here talking about Hamas is the reason this is happening, then you're part of the problem. I'm likely going to think you're just pushing the propaganda rather than actually believing it. And so this is what I'm saying. To be wrong for so long, for those who are still buying into the idea that you can trust Western media after what it is we've seen, you've been wrong for so long. It doesn't mean that you did something wrong. It just means that you were victims of a mentality placed upon you by people who didn't mean you no good, who ultimately didn't mind making you enemies of the world so long as they were able to do what they wanted to do through you and your agreeance to it. You've been wrong for so long, and now it's time to undo that. And it may not happen overnight, but one thing you must understand is that if you want to continue down the same path, now it's a choice. It's not necessarily something that you can just say is a mistake like I did. If I want to continue to number my numbers 470, whatever it is, now it's a choice to be wrong rather than to correct the wrong, because I'm either too lazy to do it or whatever's in my head's telling me that the wrong doesn't need to be corrected. But an inaccuracy is an inaccuracy. And if you understand it to be an inaccuracy, then now you have the right and the understanding that it should be changed, if not you doing the changing in it. And so given the fact that I don't have anybody else to do this for me, I had to do it myself. And it took about 30 minutes of my time to go back and change each and every one of those numbers. But now it's more accurate. Who knows how far back it actually is right? Because for all I know, I messed up somewhere back even further than that. But up until a point where I'm understanding that I was wrong, I've been able to correct that wrong and make it right. And I expect all of you guys to consider that as you move about your lives. So that's pretty much what I got to say. My name is BDF 44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.